So this brings me to some of the bigger news on my Himalayan. Is because it needed a rebuild, they have a few big bore kits. I went with Hitchcocks. They make a 462 big bore kit, but they also just came out with a performance camshaft. And I think, if I'm not the first, they sent me the very first one that they had, they said. So I think it might be one of the first ones in the United States. It should be a blast to drive.
Welcome to Motos, Cades, and Coffee.
Morning everybody, it's Andy from Motos, Cades, and Coffee. I'm here to tell you about the latest updates to my channel. I got some pretty big news and I got some pretty bad news. I'm going to start off with the bad news and just kind of give everyone an update. I think I've kind of left everyone hanging about my big trip to Canada or Maine that was supposed to happen this summer. I was all prepped to go, ready to go. I was waiting for the borders to open due to COVID. I was going to meet up with a friend of mine, Island ADV. I want you to check out his channel. He's pretty awesome. He rides a KLR 650 Silver Fox. Really cool dude. He's very multi-talented. Goes all around Prince Edward Island and does fly fishing and just an amazing rider. He's really learning. He shows all his riding adventures. Has a lot of group rides. So definitely check out his channel, Island ADV. I was supposed to go. And what happened was I wasn't able to make it. Mainly because the border wasn't open. But something else happened that was, actually two other things happened that really put a damper on things. And that is, I have been renting my Royal Enfield Himalayan out and on Rider Share and some of the other different rental programs. And what happened was one of the riders came back and he had a great time, he said. And I checked in the bike. And about a week later, I went to go ride Max, and something was not right. And I looked, and I saw the handlebars were bent. And I started looking all around the motorcycle, and he told me that he called me about right about that time, and he said, "Hey, I got to be real with you, dude. I crashed your bike." And I was like, "What?" And I looked, and sure enough, just the more I started looking, the more Max had a lot of damage to it, from handlebars, shifter peg, headlight was cracked, the housing was cracked, tank was dented, and I realized the guy went down really hard. He rented it for 6 days or 5 days, and on the last day is when he said, the day before he went down. And I even gave him my riding gear, including helmet and jacket and gloves, and I looked and all that stuff was fine. And he said he actually landed on his ankle and almost broke his ankle. He high-sided, which completely shocked me. And I was just crushed, because it's one thing if you go down and you tell me about it, but you don't tell me about it, and then a week later you tell me, I'm gonna get pretty upset, which I was. And at least he did tell me. He did take out insurance, and the company I was renting through at the time, Rider Share, actually paid me very quickly. They paid for all the damages. That being said, it takes a while for the bike to get fixed and the parts to be there. So I took Max to Cycles of Silver Spring. My buddy there, Jeremy. Cycles, this is Jeremy. Was working on the bike to fix it up. Additionally, in the meantime, my bike has 11,000 miles on it. It's a single cylinder, a small single cylinder. I've ridden this thing cross country to Montana and back. You can see some of my videos there as well too, and including going on an iron butt where I'm blasting down the highway at 1,200 miles in 19 hours. And when I say blasting, I mean blasting. I'm full RPM the whole way. For those of you who don't know, I had a head gasket go bad when I got to Montana, and they put a new head gasket in at the dealership that was there. They did really awesome, and I'm gonna again put a link. I'll put all the links of all my episodes there. So they fixed the head gasket, and I wrote back everything's fine, but it sounded like the head gasket was going bad again. About 10,500, 11,000 miles. and it turns out it's more likely piston slap. So time for a rebuild is really where we're at on the Himalayan. That's rough because it's out of warranty. That's a 2019 motorcycle and out of warranty. And this combined with the wreck put any damper on wanting to go for a cross-country ride at all. So I couldn't do it. And I couldn't meet up with Island ADV. I couldn't go on my trip, and it was just kind of left without a dual sport. For a while, at least. I ended up actually test riding a Harley Davidson Pan America and ended up buying it. It was really that awesome. So I have my Himalayan and I have the Pan America, and I did a comparison video. You definitely got to check that one out if you haven't. It's been a busy summer, and I love them both. I really do, and I'm not getting rid of either one. So the Pan America is in my stable right now. It's an amazing sport touring bike. I've got a lot of mods to it. I haven't gotten any adventure touring on it yet, but I plan to. A little bit off-road, but no adventure touring yet, but I do plan to. That being said, I do want to take Max on most of my longer adventures just because of the lighter weight. I can go more technical trails on that one. So this brings me to some of the bigger news on my Himalayan. Is because it needed a rebuild, and because I know the price of a rebuild, I looked around and they have a few big bore kits. And there's two companies. I went with Hitchcocks. They're probably the most famous. Hitchcocks motorcycles. They're based out of England, the UK, and they make a 462 big bore kit for the Himalayan. It's a 411cc and a 462. But they also just came out with a performance camshaft. And I think, if I'm not the first, because they did not have any in stock and they just had it for sale, they sent me the very first one that they had. They said to me even before it went for sale on the website, even though they just listed them. So I think it might be one of the first ones in the United States. So I have the big bore kit, performance camshaft. I have a Powertronics ECU on there already with a K&N air filter. That took a second 0 to 60. Look at the video there for my performance. So I am hoping to go from about 24 horsepower to about 34 to 40 horsepower. Somewhere in there is where I want to go. Yeah. That's going to be a game changer for the Himalayan. There's one more thing I also bought, and that is a one extra tooth sprocket, front sprocket. And I think that's going to be really important. That should lower the RPMs at top speed, and then it should also give you increased top speed, which I'm not. I was already ready to go 80 miles an hour if I needed to, but I really want to reduce that RPM and hope for a little bit more longevity on the motor. And I think with the additional power, it will definitely be able to overcome that one additional tooth. So that's really my whole plan, my whole goal for the one extra tooth, and my whole build goal. So as that gets built, I'm going to put that on for some episodes. And I'm waiting for all the parts to get in, and hopefully we can test it out, and I'll show you and do some performance characteristics and tell you what it feels like. So big bore kit, cam, extra tooth sprocket, Powertronics ECU, K&N air filter, and they also had a Hitchcocks also had a smooth airflow inlet that lets you put a K&N without like really getting a weird adjustment feel on the K&N. So I got that too. And I got a D&D chain. All rocking my Mitas E-07 tires. It should be a blast to drive. We'll see if it's a game changer. It changes the characteristics. Do you need any of this? No. But the cost of the rebuild, the cost of all the parts was about $1,000. And a rebuild kit to get it installed and all that is about the same. If you're going to go. So I just decided to, maybe a little less, but I decided to, because I had to do rebuild, might as well go with the big bore kit, and then just come with a cylinder and a piston. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's a lot of the updates of my channel, mainly on Royal Enfield side of the house. I'll have a lot of Harley content coming. I have a lot of upgrades and protections that I've been adding to my Pan America. I have my Sportster, my 77 Sportster that I rebuilt the transmission and got that rocking and rolling. A lot of arcade stuff and some coffee stuff. I'm enjoying a very, very great blend from Coffeecade, Jolt and Volt. It's my favorite. You got to check them out on the web, coffeecade.net. Fantastic coffee. So that's my update. What would you like to see? What questions do you have? Is anyone else excited about this big bore kit and cam and performance in the Himalayan as I am? I'm excited about me going on a Pan America ADV ride. I am. All sorts of great bikes, all sorts of updates on this channel, a lot of arcade content if you're into that. That's really what it's all about on Motos, K's, and Coffee. So with that, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to see what we have update. Fingers crossed on this build for Max, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Oh, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And let me know what comments you have, questions you have in the comments of what you want to see or what questions you have. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next episode.